Alrighty. Morning, everyone. Welcome to Urban Yoga in the Park. I'm Tommy, as you know. Talking to Johnny out here. We got Jerry on Zoom. Good to see you guys this morning. We're going to just take it through a nice, easy practice. Get into a little joint mobility, get into some back bends this morning, open up that front of the body. So we're going to start out in just a nice, comfortable seat. You can have the legs crossed out in front of you if you like. Wherever you can just bring a little ease into the hips and the knees. Just settling in as you roll the shoulders up, back, and down, draw them down the back, and then just place the hands right alongside on tops of the thighs, either face up or face down. A little draw of the chin back. Just feel the body start to come into alignment with that head over the heart and heart over the hips. Begin to take a deep breath in through the nose, nice and easy, and start to invite some ease into the body with that breath. Nice slow exhale, and just feel those shoulders start to drop and pull away from the ears. And with each cycle of breath, just start to invite a little bit more ease in to any spaces that feel tense, feel tight. Start to soften and relax. Might be in the collarbones, might be in the jaw. Relax the fingertips and toes. Just let that breath continue to create space and create ease in the body as you find a nice, easy, gentle rhythm here. In through the nose, back out through the nose. And just feeling that breath expanding beyond the top of the chest. We just breathe that short, shallow breath in the top of the chest and the throat. So just letting that breath grow with each round without force. Feel the sides of the ribs expand. Feel the crown of your head become light and lifted. Feel that natural, gentle curve in the low spine as you sit up a little taller in your seat and drop your hips, connecting your lower half of the body, rooting to the earth, rooting to the mat. And just starting to feel out the root in your body, the reach in your body at the opposite end, and that breath flowing between the two. Just taking in and observing how you're feeling this morning, physically in the body, emotionally, anything coming up, anything you need to do later, before class, just acknowledge it and let that go. As the next hour is for your practice alone, your time for self-exploration, self-healing, and just letting go of any preconceived expectations. So with another cycle of breath in through the nose, nice and easy, fill up. And on that exhale, just empty out all the breath in the body. When you get to the bottom, just a gentle squeeze of the belly and lower ribs down and in, kind of squeezing out that sponge, getting rid of any stale, stagnant flow. And then giving a little bit more space for that next inhale. So one more cycle. And exhale, let it go. Softly blink those eyes open. And we'll just begin with a little bit of movement in the neck. So go ahead and drop the chin towards the chest. Feel the neck become nice and long. Just feel the head become heavier. If you want a little bit extra, you can just take the fingertips very, very gently and just place them on the back of the head. Just adding just a little bit of weight, not adding too much strain, but just feeling the neck start to stretch out. Take a deep breath in here. Nice, so exhale out. Let the fingertips come down and then just go ahead and roll the left ear over towards the shoulder, starting to stretch out the neck on the right side. Again, if you want a little bit more intensity there, you can just take the fingertips and place them on the side of the head, just adding a little bit of weight. Maybe extending out that right arm, reaching out through the fingertips, and just lengthening out from that neck all the way into the shoulder. If you just pull those fingertips back just a little bit, it'll add a little bit more through that nerve of the back of the arm, kind of going up into the shoulder and the neck here. So breathe into this spot, adding a little bit of movement if it feels good. One more cycle. And release back up to center, and then just over to the other side. Drop the chin back onto the chest, roll the right ear over, adding a little bit of pressure if you like, adding that extension in the arm. And then again, a little draw back of those fingertips. It's going to intensify that stretch up through the back of the arm, into the tricep, up into that shoulder. You can roll out the wrist. Just starting to wake up and create some space in the body. Breathing here. One more cycle. And go ahead and release. Give the arms a little shake out. Go ahead and sit up nice and tall. Go ahead and roll the shoulders up, back, and down. And then just a little gentle draw down of the back. So grabbing the hold of the wrist, pulling it down. And then as you draw that wrist down, just taking the chin to the opposite shoulder. More space. You're feeling that now in the back of the scapula a little bit more, through the neck. Add a little bit of movement if you need to. One more breath. And then go ahead and switch sides. Draw the wrist down. Create length, lift up through that chest. And then head goes to the opposite direction. Stretch out the neck. Feel that go through the back of the shoulder, into the scapula. Breathe into the space. One more breath. And release. Give them a little shake out. Inhale, lift up nice and tall. Reach up through those side ribs. Create length in that torso. Nice deep breath in here. On the exhale, we're just going to hinge forward. Just let the fingertips fall down wherever they may. And then just pull that tailbone back, pull the hip bones back, and just start to walk fingertips forward. Not about how low you go here. You can take a deep breath in, lift up through the chin, find a little bit more space. Exhale, just let the head be heavy. Maybe coming down to forearms, maybe dropping the head all the way down. Nice, big breath into the back here. Nice, slow exhale out. And fingertips come back in. We'll go ahead and switch the cross of the legs by placing the other leg on top. And just to balance everything out, lift back up, deep breath in, find length and lift. Exhale, send you down nice and slow. Hips back, round forward. Pull those hip bones back. Kind of tent the fingers and walk them forward a little bit more. Big breath in, and then just let the head drop. One more cycle. Exhale, let it go. All right, fingertips coming back in. Make our way into a tabletop. You can either just roll over those ankles, come off to the side on the hips. If you need to, and the surface you're on is a little bit harder, you can put a blanket across the knees as well, get a little extra padding there. Line up those shoulders over the wrists, hips are lined up over those knees. Drop that belly down, press into the mat and lift up through the heart space. Lift up through your tailbone. Take a nice big sip of air into the chest here, down into the belly, and then moving nice and slow. Push the floor away. Pull those shoulders up. Draw up the gaze down in. Spread the shoulder blades apart as much as you can. Just pause here for a cycle of breath. And then rocking back forward. Up to your cow pose. Pause here for a cycle. Lift the tail, lift the chest. Drop the belly. Breathe. And then nice and slow, just moving back and forth, pausing where you'd like. Really focusing on getting some contrasting movement in the spine. One more cycle. All right, bring everything back into center. We're gonna go ahead and take a modified side plank here. Let's take the left palm and bring it a little bit more towards the center of the mat. Left knee lined up with that center. And then the right leg's gonna come back directly behind you. Now you can modify the side plank by simply turning the left leg back. It's gonna give you a little bit more support and kickstand. We're gonna draw those ribs up and away from the mat as much as you can. You can reposition that left hand if you need to. Reach up through those fingertips, stack the shoulders, and really focusing on pulling those ribs up and away to create some space here in the body. Breathe here. If you like, maybe engaging that belly a little bit more and floating the toes up. Gonna add a little bit more intensity. You can bring them back down, maybe pulse a little bit. Feeling that in the low back as well. Whatever degree is calling to you this morning, take a break if you need to. One more breath. Exhale, lower down. Wheel those hands back around the center and just a little rock of those hips side to side, kind of even everything back out. And then set yourself up for that second side. Taking that right hand to the center of the mat is going to give a little bit more stability. Lining that knee right up behind it. And then option as well. Create that kickstand. Back up the shoulders. Pull the ribs up and away from the back. The belly engaged here. And then if you like, adding a little bit more intensity, maybe floating the foot up. Pulsing if you like. Active through that heel, kicking the foot out. So one more cycle wherever you are. And then release. Wheel the hands back to center. Go ahead and bring everything back into alignment. And then left hand back to center again. We're just going to lift up through the fingertips on the right side. Take a nice big breath in. Exhale, thread the needle, drop down through that shoulder. Try to get as much of the back of that arm in contact with the mat as possible. Dropping down to the temple, the side of the face. And then options with that left hand to walk it out in front of you. Go ahead and bend it and bring it back to the sacrum to deepen the twist a little bit more. Nice big breath into the back. Go ahead and release. Left hand back to center. Bring the right hand back up. Open the chest. Circle out the wrist. One more breath. And everything back to center. Second side. Right hand goes up. Left hand open. Stack the shoulders. Open up the chest. Nice big breath in here. Exhale. Send it down. Pressing into the back of the shoulder. Nice big breath into the back. Options with that right hand. Breathe into the stretch. One more cycle. Nice, slow exhale out. And right hand back to center of mat. Bring it back up one last time. And let it go. From here, we're going to tuck the toes under. Start to walk the fingertips back in. Bring the torso up nice and straight. And then roll those shoulders back. Bring the palms to the back here. Support the low back and just bring the hips slightly forward. Pull those elbows together. Lift up through the crown of the head. Nice deep breath in. And then just a gentle back bend here. So think more about opening the front of the body than bending at the back. Pushing those hips forward to create space. Nice big breath in. Exhale, go ahead and release. Hands back down, we'll walk those fingertips forward. And we'll tuck our toes under and start working our way back to the downward facing dog today. Downward dog. Pedal out your dog, stretch out through those calf muscles. Drop the heels one at a time by shortening up your stance. Check in with those hands, fingertips nice and wide, a gentle roll of the triceps in towards those ears. Make sure your elbows aren't splaying out, protect the shoulders. Inhale, lift up through the heels, nice deep breath in here. Exhale, drop the heels any amount and pull your heart space back towards the thighs. One more breath. On the exhale, start to walk the feet towards the hands. Halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana, thighs are back, crown reaching forward. We'll just hang out here for a few cycles of breath. Just feeling out the push and pull in the body, thighs drawing back, maybe going into the heels, lifting up the toes. Reaching crown of the head forward. Weight goes into the toes, slightly lifting the heels, just going back and forth between those two. Nice deep breath in here. On the exhale, just let the head hang heavy, hinge forward. Grab for the backs of the calves or thighs. Let the elbows come out nice and wide. Take a deep breath in, and then exhale, pull your ribs towards your thigh bones. Bend and straighten the legs if you need to. Shake the head yes and no. Release any tension you're holding in that face, neck, jaw. One more breath. Nice, slow exhale. Release the bind to the feet. Deep breath in here. On the exhale, we're just going to walk fingertips over to the right side. Bend and straighten the leg on the left. Feel a little bit more stretch there going up to that left hip. You can also have a block available here. Breathe. And release back to center. Let's go ahead and halfway lift. Deep breath in. Exhale, hinge and fold. Deep breath in here. And then twisting off to the other side. So hips are squared up as much as possible going forward. Just getting a little twist in the low spine. And then again, you can bend the knees and then straighten out to that right leg. Feeling that go up into that IT band, outer hip. One more cycle. Exhale, release. Everything back into center. We're going to bend those knees. We're going to root to rise nice and slow. Roll up through the spine. One vertebrae at a time. Inhale, lift up. Urdhva Hastasana. Lift up. Gentle back bend if you like by bringing those hips forward. Reaching back. Big breath in here. Exhale. Palms slide down into heart center. Pause for a moment in mountain pose. Drop down through the heels. Lift up through your crown. Take a breath. We're going to start bringing in some movement and some salutations. Inhale, lift up. Nice and slow. Exhale, swan dive down, hips back, crown forward. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, brings you down. Plant those hands, big step back, right foot and then left. Pause here in plank pose by pushing up out of those shoulders, so a little round in the spine. Draw the belly up and in. Modify if you need to drop the knees. Deep breath in. On the exhale, let's start out by lowering knees, untuck the toes, lower the chest, keep the elbows pulled in, go all the way to that belly. Slide those palms underneath the shoulder heads and maybe a little further out. Press into the mat and just take a low cobra here. Inhale, press into your pelvis, press into the tops of the thighs, lift up through the top of the body. Feel that low back engage, breathe. Exhale, lower the head. Go ahead, push yourself right back through plank, or you can make your way up to that tabletop. Pause for a breath. Exhale all the way back down. Nice big inhale, lift up through those heels. Exhale, lower, drop the heart back towards the thighs. Take a big breath in here. All right, deep breath in. Exhale. Walk, step, or hop to the top of the mat. Inhale halfway. Exhale, lower down. Bend those knees, lift the rise, nice and slow. Reach it up. Add the back bend if you like. Deep breath in. Exhale, palms to heart center. Pause in mountain pose. Maybe let the fingertips fall to the outside. Edges of the mat. Deep breath in. Nice, slow exhale out. All right, second time through. Inhale, lift up. This time we're going to drop down into our chair pose. Utkatasana, so drop down in the tail. Lift up through those fingertips, open the chest up. Squeeze the inner thighs together as if you have a block in between. Deep breath in. Stay here if you like to add a little movement. Fingertips forward and then just drawing the bow back across the chest. Try to keep the knees squared up as much as you can. Breathe. Inhale. Second side. Inhale. Exhale, full. Inhale halfway. Exhale, hands come down. Take a big step back. Plank pose. So options here. We're either going to come back to your modified side plank. So let's go left hand to the center of the mat. You can lower that knee down and take that modified side plank. If you want to go into full side plank, your feet are together, stacked up, and you're pulling those ribs up and away, stack up through the shoulder. So definitely lower down one knee if you need it. Otherwise, belly engaged, pulling the ribs up and in, stack the shoulders, breathe. Maybe float that leg. Lower down, windmill hands down. Bring them back alongside the shoulders, and we'll take knees, chest, and chin, or full chaturanga. Back bend of choice here. Keep the breath moving. Exhale all the way back, downward facing dog. Inhale here. Exhale, step, hop, or float. Halfway lift. Wipe the slate clean. Exhale, let it go. Bend those knees, move to rise, bring it all the way back up. Deep breath in at the top. And exhale. Back into heart center. Let's just pause here for a moment. Let some of that energy settle in the body. Let the heartbeat settle back into the chest and just regain that easy cycle of breath here. Deep breath in. Gentle exhale. One more cycle. All right, let's go second side. Inhale it up. Breath in. Exhale, send you down. Halfway lift. Making this a moving meditation with breath and movement syncing. Exhale, fold. Plant the hand, big step back. Right hand to center of mat. Modified side plank. Full side plank. Take your time, set the foundation nice and strong. Ribs are coming up and away, so the arms nice and active here. Not sinking into that shoulder joint. Maybe float the leg. Keep breathing. All right, look down at your hand and then go ahead and windmill hands back down, rebalance the shoulders out, and lower all the way to the belly. Let's go ahead and slide into a Sphinx pose by bringing those elbows under the shoulders. Palms face down. Do a rock of those hips side to side. Reach the toes back. And then push into the elbows as you pull the chest space up. Draw the belly up and in slightly. Take a deep breath in. Feel that low back start to engage, and then pull your heart space through the shoulder. Breathe. One more breath. Exhale, lower down. Go ahead and slide those palms alongside the hips. Coming into a locust pose, roll the shoulders up and back. And then as you reach back towards your heels, just feel the chest come up, chin comes up and out. Maybe if you want to activate those legs, squeeze the thighs together and float the toes up. Deep breath in here. Add the arms variations if you like, airplane arms. You can take a bind here if you like. Keep breathing. Rest if you need to. Okay, go ahead and release. Palms back down. Push yourself up and back. Take a child's pose here. Nice counter for that back bend. You can either go hips wide or knees wide. You can take a small child's pose with knees together. And just release and relax that low back here. So one more cycle. Nice, slow exhale out. Right. So bring the head up nice and slow. Walk those fingertips back out. Tuck those toes under, and we'll meet in downward facing dog. Stretch it out. Deep breath in. Nice, slow exhale out. Drop the heels. Let's go left leg up to the sky, three-legged dog here. Deep breath in. On the exhale, and send it all the way forward. If it stops short of those hands, go ahead and work your way up there. Set the foundation. You're going to drop the back heel, setting up for a warrior two. So back edge of the foot is perpendicular to the mat. Go ahead and bring yourself up. Check your alignment, heel to arch alignment, rebalance if you need to. Opening up through those inner thighs, opening up through those shoulders. Take a nice deep breath in and lift up. Exhale, sink into your lunge. Just kind of feeling out the space to the front and back of the mat with the fingertips. Creating a little bit more space in the heart. Breathe in here. Exhale, sink a little deeper. Nice and slow through that transition. Fingertips down. Big circle up and over. Open up the front of the rib cage here. Sink into that lunge a little deeper. Option with that back hand down the leg. Bend the elbow, bring it to the back. Maybe you can get a hold of that inside of the hip. Breathe. Go extended side angle. We're going to take that left elbow over to the knee. Take a moment and really focus on stacking up the shoulders here. Pulling that top shoulder back as much as you can. You can also wheel that arm up and around in front of the face, and then taking it, reaching out over the ear. And then making sure you're not sinking into that shoulder. So some space in between the top of that shoulder and the neck here. Feeling that energy from the edge of your back foot all the way out to the fingertips, up to the ribs. Breathe. One more cycle. Inhale, bring you back up. Warrior two. Go ahead and straighten that front leg, reach that forward. Trikonasana, stack those shoulders. Block on the outside of the foot if you'd like. And again, more about getting the top shoulder drawn back, opening up the heart, not about how low you go. So even if you're up here, just focus on the opening of the shoulders more than bending forward. That can come later. One more breath. Inhale brings you back up. The warrior two one more time. Inhale here. Exhale, windmill hands all the way to the top foot. Take a big step back and take your flow of choice. So knees, chest, and chin. Take a full chaturanga, really reaching out over those wrists. Take a deep inhale. And the exhale, lowering down, keeping those elbows drawn in. When you get about halfway, that's when you flip your feet and bring yourself up. Otherwise, going all the way to the belly, taking a cobra, sphinx. Breathe into that back bend. Exhale, send it all the way back down. Pause here for a breath. Rest if you need to. If you need a quick child's pose in between, catch back up with us. All good. All right, right leg up and back, three-legged dog, reach out through the heel. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, send it forward. You get about halfway, push that forward, create some space for that foot to land. Inch it up there, make sure it's right, lined up underneath that knee. Drop the back heel. Warrior two, second side. Check your alignment. Open up the hips, open up the shoulders. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, sink it. Wheel it out, front to back. Nice and slow. Drop down, press into that big toe. Anchor down and start to rise up. Reverse that warrior. Sink into the knee a little bit more. Option with that back hand. One more breath. Exhale backwards. Extended side angle, elbow to knee. Draw the shoulder back. Stack the shoulders. Maybe that top hand coming in front of the face and then up and over the ear, in front of that shoulder. Find some reach, find some root. Find some extension, find some space for that breath. And with the breath, back up. Warrior two. Right, go ahead and hit that front hip. Reach it forward, setting up for Trikonasana. Palm to shin. Stack the shoulders. Open the shoulders first, and then sink down in it. Have a little bend in that front knee if you need it. One more breath here, yogis. With the inhale, bring yourself back up to that warrior two. Exhale, send you all the way back down. Big step back. And go ahead and flow it out. Let's go all the way to the belly. Little rock side to side. Let's take that locust pose again. So options here, roll the shoulders back, reach back. You just might be in this space, getting a little bit of a back bend. Maybe engaging those legs, squeezing those thighs together. Options again with the arm. Breathe. Hold it. Exhale, let it go. Go ahead and bend the knees, gentle. Windshield wiper side to side, release that low back, let the head drop for a minute. All right, head back to center. Go ahead and slide those palms back. This time, so you can go ahead and attempt wheel pose. You can either just take that same locust. If you just feel like doing another cobra or just a sphinx pose, getting those same benefits. If you're ready for wheel, we're gonna go ahead and roll shoulders back, start to lift up through the chest, bend, and maybe you're reaching and getting a hold of those ankles. If you can't get a hold of the ankles, still draw the heels in towards the glutes and just kind of practice it here. Pressing up, pressing into the pelvis, into the belly, lifting up. If you're grabbing a hold of those feet, kick into the hands, squeeze the thighs together to bring yourself up a little bit higher. And here, breathe. It's okay. I like to kind of just do a little roll to the side, a little tip over. It's really good on the back. Kind of takes some of the tension off. You got to go nice and slow. Back to center, come down if you need to. Back to center. I don't know what that's called. What's that called? The bow roll?
Bow pole, bow pose to start with.
Go ahead and release. Palms underneath those shoulders. Press yourself up. Keep the thighs together here, and just a counter pose here. We're gonna pull the thighs back or the hips back. Bring the nose down into the knees, and then just reach around. If you can just grab a hold of your heels, grab there. Maybe just hands on the low back. Kind of draw the back down and just release and relax the low spine. Few breaths here. Nice and easy. Deep breath in. Nice, slow exhale out. All right, go ahead and bring yourself up, nice and slow. We're gonna set up for camel pose. Since we've been opening up the back a little bit. If you have blocks, you can go ahead and take those and place those right alongside the heels for a little added support. And camel pose can definitely be pretty intense for a lot of people. So do what you can do. Your camel might just be a very small, simple back bend like where we started out. So only go as deep as you like or as the body allows you. So set yourself up. I like the toes tucked. Some people like the toes untucked. Just a matter of preference there. So pull the hips forward. Roll those shoulders, support that low spine, pull the elbows together, press them forward, and this may be your camel for the day. Open the heart, open the chest. You want to lift up through the crown of the head first to create length, and then start going into the back lift. It's okay here, maybe taking one hand up, creating again, more length in the torso. Starting to reach back by pushing those hips forward. Maybe you can take this other hand and reach back, grab a hold of the block, maybe grabbing a hold of the heel, and then push those hips forward a little bit more. Feel any pinching in that low back, definitely come out of it. Hand back to the back for support. Relax for a minute. Maybe just drop the head back down. Counter bend. Yourself back up. And then just second side whenever you're ready. So go through the steps, support the spine. Reach it up. Create length first. Only taking that hand back to the heel or the block if it feels okay. Maybe coming into the full pose by bringing both hands back towards the heels or block. Push the hips forward, open the chest. Deep breath in. If the hands are back on the heels, you can take one off, bring it to the support. Other one comes up. And then take that counter pose, nice and slow, drop all the way down and in. Pull your hips back towards the heels. Draw the nose down into the knee. Breathe into that space. So one more breath here. Nice, slow exhale out. Nice. Bring yourself back up. And we'll come to a seated position. So just rolling off to one side. Take the legs out nice and long into good shape. Bounce the backs of the thighs. Right. Sit yourself up on a blanket here if you like, a little bit more lift in the hips. Otherwise, press out through those heels. Draw the toes back towards you and get in front of those sit bones. So a little rock side to side. Work the hips back so you're not sitting back on that tail. Inhale, lift up nice and tall. Deep breath in here, up through the ribs. Exhale, hinge and fold. Forward folds feel really nice after doing those back bends. Breathe into that low back. Let's do that one more time. Slide the hands back. Inhale, lift. Exhale, reach. Send it down. A little bend in the knees if you need it. One more cycle. Nice, slow exhale out. Fingertips come back and in. We're gonna set ourselves up for a twist here. And take the knees bent. Feet a little bit wider than hips, a little wider than shoulders. Roll the shoulders up and back, lift up to the chest. We're gonna let them fall over to the side. And then just take that left heel and just pull it in a little bit. So you wanna be nice and compact. You can also sit up on a block here if it's a little bit more, if you have a little too much tension on those outer hips. A blanket's great as well. So you can put a blanket or block underneath that right hip, lift up nice and tall. Breath in, lift up high. Exhale, we're gonna twist nice and slow. Take that left hand across the right thigh, lift up through the shoulder, deep breath in, and then using that leverage here, twist up into those shoulders. Deep breath, and then take that chin over to that right shoulder. Breathe. Nice big inhale. The torso twisted on the exhale. We're just going to keep the torso where it is, and then just take the chin over to the opposite shoulder. So this changes up, a little different stretch in the neck. Breathe. One more. Exhale, release. Start to unwind, bring everything back to center. Knees back up. Rebalance the hips, a little rock side to side if you need it. Going on over there.
We have a young lady on the spectrum acting out of it.
Ah, okay. Got some activity over here at the school behind us. All right, roll shoulders back. Knees drop down. Set yourself up. So you're kind of at a 90-degree, 45-degree angle with the legs. 90-degree, I guess. Go ahead and pull that heel back in. And again, sit yourself up either on a block or blanket to relax and release those hips a little bit. Pull up through the heart space and lift up through the chest and chin. Inhale, lift and rise. Great. Legs first. And then on the exhale, we'll go ahead and go right hand over to the outer thigh. Press into it. Lift up and twist. Then all the way up into the shoulders. Chin over the left shoulder. A few more cycles of breath. Inhale, you can back off a little bit. Just lift back up a little bit more. Doing these twists, you want to try to reduce as much of that rounding in the spine as possible. One more breath. On the exhale, keep the torso twisted and just take that chin to the opposite shoulder. And release, unwind, bring yourself back into center. Nice and slow. Go ahead and roll shoulders up and back. Take the palms right alongside the hips here. Press down into the toes and just lift up through those hips. Relax the spine. Don't let the head fall back too much. Protect the neck. Pull that tailbone up and in. Take a deep breath in. Exhale as you start to drop the hips, pull them back towards the hands. Legs go long. Let's do a forward fold one more time. Deep breath in. Exhale, sends you down. Flex and draw the toes back and then take them out nice and long. Stretch out the tops of the feet. Go back towards you, press out through the heels. Feel that the shin bones and the calf. One more breath here. Nice slow exhale out. Tip back in. Let's go ahead and slide the heels in here. Come out a little bit more in front of you than we normally would, pulling them in towards the pelvis. We'll kind of work our way into that. So a little bit more of a diamond pose here with the leg. And rock back and forth, get in front of those sitting bones. Inhale, lift up nice and tall. You can take your hands on your shin bones or like right below the knees, and then just pull and roll the hips a little bit more forward. Lift up through that chest. Take a nice deep breath into the pelvis, inner thighs. And then on the exhale, start to hinge forward. Any degree that's comfortable. Doesn't have to be low. You don't have to get super low here. Just feel that stretch on the inner thighs, into the groin, into the pelvis. Maybe a little bit of movement rocking side to side as you start to lower down. Maybe down to forearms. You can also have blocks out in front of you if you like. Feeling those hips open up. One more breath. Nice, slow exhale out. Start to bring yourself back up nice and slow. From here, maybe drawing the heels in a little bit more towards the pelvis. Or you can keep them where they were. Keeping soles of the feet together, coming into Baddha Konasana. Again, rolling forward onto the sit bones here, in front of the sit bone. Lift up through the chest, lift up through the heart. Stay here, or if you like, deep breath in. Start to walk fingertips forward. Rock yourself down, whatever degree is comfortable. One more breath. Tips come back up and in. We're going to go ahead and keep the right foot down. We'll bring the left heel up. And just a little rock of the baby, sort of side to side. So we're just taking that heel out, the knee back, just feeling that on the outer hip. Also, take the forearms underneath, kind of drawing the shin bone up towards you. Again, you'll find your edge, so no need to torture yourself. Just getting that outer hip a little bit more opened up. All right, let's let that go. We're going to do the other side here. Same thing, just nice and easy back and forth. Obviously, the further you pull it into your chest, you're going to intensify. Option to come underneath. Definitely going to notice one side a little tighter. All right. We're going to set ourselves up for fireball. So what we want is we want the shin bone at about, a 90-degree angle, or I don't know if that's 90 degree, but basically flush with the front of the mat. So try to get that shin bone as much as possible. And the further in you come, the more intensity you're going to have. Highly recommend as well a block here if your hips are super tight. You're up on that blanket maybe, and then you're just going to take that other and you're going to stack the ankle right around where the knee is. And if you can bring both shin bones in line, go ahead and do that. If your hip's super tight and your knee is coming up to here, then that's where you're at. So it's not about forcing anything down. Maybe you have a block here sort of underneath that thigh where you can just take a little bit of the tension off that outer hip. Just do what you can do here. What we want to do is just sit up nice and tall in those hips, stack up as much as you can. Feel that on the outer hips, feel the stretch, feel pinching, any discomfort there, go ahead and back off. Maybe just sitting into the spot and relaxing. If you like, maybe inhaling, lifting up, reaching forward and starting to fold forward. That's definitely going to add some intensity. Only do what's good for your body. Find your edge, breathe into that space. One more breath here. Nice and easy. That's on the out. All right. If you're folded forward, start to come up nice and easy. Take the legs out long. Take them out wide. Maybe just do a little forward fold. You can give them a little shake out just in front of you. Whatever you need to do just to get a little bit of circulation back into the legs, back into those hips. Relax and release. set ourselves up for the second side. So you're basically just going opposite shin on the bottom. What did I do first? I did this. Yeah. Stack up those shin bones as much as you can. Have that block available if you need it. Find your edge. Definitely going to feel it probably a little bit more on one side than the other. Don't force anything. Inhale, lift up nice and tall. Exhale, send you down. Breathe into those hips. Breathe into the pelvis. Nice slow exhale out. Slowly bring yourself back up and in. Legs go wide. Roll the shoulders back. I kind of like to take my hands, one in front, one in back, and just lift up through the hips, press out through your heels a little bit more, and it gives you just a little bit more space on those inner thighs. Deep breath in, lift up. Exhale, fold. Little rock side to side. All right, walk it back in. Go ahead and reach underneath those knees. Pull up just to give those legs a little bit of a break. We'll go ahead and drop onto the back. All right, go ahead and pull those knees up into the chest. Pull your tailbone back down. So kind of the push and pull here is the knees into the chest and the tailbone going in the opposite direction. Gives you a nice stretch in those hips, low back, maybe a little rock side to side massage. Go ahead and take the legs up to the sky. Grab to the backs of the thighs here. Flex the heels, flex the toes back towards you. Stretch out the feet. Nice little inversion here. Maybe let the legs part. Anything else that calls to you. Feeling like a plow pose, maybe a shoulder stand. If that's in your practice, go ahead and take it. Otherwise, just enjoy the slowing down of the central nervous system in this inversion. If you like, maybe reaching fingertips up towards the toes, kind of curling up, pull the shoulders up. See if you can touch your toes, give a couple taps. Maybe it's the shins. And lower legs down. Prepare yourself for some stillness, Shavasana. Legs go out nice and long, or if you'd like, Supta Baddha Konasana. Those hips should be feeling nice and open, inner thigh. One hand on heart, one hand on belly. Just relax. Nothing left to do here but just to take a few moments to enjoy the benefits of your practice and just tune into the sensations. Notice how the body feels, how do the hips feel, how does it feel. Hopefully a little bit more open, maybe a little tender. Just getting into some of those muscles and spaces that we don't get into in our everyday lives. So really good, just getting the body to move new ways, replenish, renew. Take a nice deep breath in. And on that exhale, just let the bones feel heavy here. Just let yourself sink in for a few moments. Enjoy the benefits of your practice and allow me to call you back when it's done. All right, yogis, let's begin to deepen that breath and nice and slow, just wiggling fingers and toes, welcome sensation back into the body. Just find some movement, maybe rocking the head side to side, stretching up the neck, wiggle the jaw. Let's take a nice deep breath in. If you're on your back and you want to take a full body stretch, reach those fingertips back, hook the thumbs, reach beyond the mat, maybe sliding the feet together and stretching out the tops of the feet there. Big breath into that heart space. And on that exhale, draw the knees back into the chest, counter pose here, curl up into a ball, maybe nose up into the knees. And take your time when you're ready. Just roll yourself off to one side. Keep your gaze soft or the eyes closed, and we'll make our way up to a comfortable seat. Just feel the body come back into alignment here. Equal in those hips, shoulders nice and squared up. Stacking up the bones in the body. Creating some space for that breath. Let's inhale, fingertips out and up. Deep breath in at the top. And exhale, bow inward. As always, just take a moment, acknowledge that you've done the best thing you can do by taking time for yourself, taking that time to honor your practice, honor your body, give that mind a rest, and just try to be and reconnect with your true self. Always a pleasure for me to guide you in this practice. Have a wonderful rest of the day and week. I'll see you next time. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me. Johnny, Jerry, thank you so much, guys.